for electronic voice phenomenon. Basically, it is a collection of disembodied voices caught on tape.
Is anyone here?
We'll ask questions with the hope that we will get an answer on playback.
Have Matt or April done something wrong? Have we offended you? What are you trying to say?
After several visits to the house, the Spencers were ready to share their findings.
Come on in.
Well, I understand. Feel a little nervous.
Don't be. This is the second half of the process. First, we did the recordings on site. Then we bring them back here and we process them.
So, do you have EVP?
Unquestionably.
We received well over 100 EVPs, which is an extraordinary amount for any one location. It's the most we've ever gotten anywhere.
In fact, we've never encountered anything like this before.
Testing. Is anyone here? Can you hear us? Now, most EVP is residual.
Residual energy will stay behind or be trapped in space and time of any given location. There's no consciousness there. It's just an image caught in time.
Stuck in space.
Now, the other kind of EVPs, they're actually conscious. You ask them a question and they're going to answer.
Have we offended you?
The other half of those EVPs seem to be conscious that they actually respond to our questions.
Have Matt or April done something wrong?
There was a definite strong male voice, and there was a fairly clear, "I want you out of here."
Why are you doing this?
What did we do to...
I felt very frightened because it was directed at us.
Did you hear the voice of a little boy?
I was like, that's the voice that I was hearing at night. It's true. That child really does exist.
The idea that a child might be trapped there or stuck there, you know, was kind of gut-wrenching.
I think a child could be the key to this whole thing. Now, the question is, which one? You don't have the ghost of a child in your house. You have the spirits of a dozen children, maybe more.
In the days that followed, April searched for a new house. But she and Matt could not bring themselves to sell the old one.
We're afraid that another family might experience the same thing that we did, and we could just never forgive ourselves for that. We contacted a real estate agent and told her the problems that we were having in the house. She mentioned to us this woman, Debbie. She's a clairvoyant, and she has the ability to cleanse houses.
She may be able to help. Here's her card.
So she gave me Debbie's number to contact her and see what she could do to help me.
Debbie White agreed to investigate the house. She was an estate agent, claiming to have a special gift.
I found that I have this ability to read things and to perceive people in the room that have passed on. And with my real estate career, I've been involved in several homes wherein I would walk into the home and find that there were, in fact, ghosts or other beings within the house, and be able to help them to leave or to move on. I had a sense that there was something going on in here.
The next day, Debbie met with April and Matt to discuss her findings.
Thank you. I believe the force in your house is the spirit of a man who once lived there. A Mormon, a polygamist, with several wives and many children.
But the Mormon church outlawed polygamy years ago.
Well, they lived there almost a century ago. Now tell me, did you change that upstairs bedroom?
Yeah, I did some renovations on the closet.
Why? Well, when I entered that closet, I felt an evil presence that made me sick to my stomach.
The feeling of black and evil, hiding something from me.
That's where he did it.
Did what?
He's torturing or he's molesting these children, individually or several at a time. That's where he does his work, is in that room. What he's done has just eaten him up, and it leaves nothing but blackness.
Okay. Oh, baby.
I don't think he's ever left the house. I think he's been there generation after generation. But his secret has always been left alone. When Matt altered that, he let great light into the house, and he also took away his hiding place.
What do we do?
You need to cleanse and bless that house right away. Now, I can do it, but I'm going to need your help.
We knew there was no way we would risk anyone's happiness, well-being, or health in the future in that house, anyone's, until we helped everything in that house move on.
In February of 2006, Debbie White performed a ritual cleansing.
Is everyone ready?
Bill and Jeremy Spencer recorded the ceremony.
We had our cameras and microphones running to document, what was going on.
Let us begin.
April and Matt carried candles to light the way for lost souls. Debbie sprayed salt water to purify the ground.
I have a blessed salt water that I spray into any type of an angle to the house at the base of the floor.
Is this part of the railing that was from that secret room upstairs?
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you, just 100% him coming out of that piece of wood. Anger and hostility and bitterness.
I think we should take it with us. We may need it.
I wanted him to have his security blanket.
I think we should try to put things back the way they were.
She felt the reason why he was so upset is because we took it out. If we put some things back to normal, then it would help us that he wouldn't be so upset at us.
Can you feel them? They're here. It's all right.
Debbie, are you all right?
Debbie White had told Matt Brody and April James that she could help rid their home of spirits.
Debbie? Debbie, are you all right?
All is as it should be. Trust us. You can come out. We're here to help you. Follow us. With every room in the house blessed, we have him cornered here.
As we blessed the house, I found these children actually following us, walking with us, all knowing we were going to one location, which is the closet in the upper level. I just had this sense I couldn't quit now. We were so close.
The candle! This candle represents health, renewal, peace. Don't let him out! I won't! The light! We've got to get them to the light! It won't open, it won't budge! It's new! It's new! Shut! Look out!
The group was sure that with the spirits released, the evil entity was finally gone.
You okay? Oh, baby. We're safe. We're okay.
I'm so scared.
Debbie believed that the items used in the ceremony had to be kept on the property, ensuring that the evil spirit would never return, and that the light the candles had provided would protect future owners from harm.
They are buried on the premises, giving them complete ownership in the home. I believe with all my heart he has left that house, and he is not coming back to that house, and he can't. And we've left these personal articles to make sure he doesn't.
If someone else ever had an experience like this, I would always suggest to them to get professional help and to get out of the house right away. Because it's not worth what you put your family through to try to fight something that you have no control over.
After the blessing, Matt decided to carry on redecorating the home.
We will continue to monitor the house until it has subsided and it is safe for some family to live in. We've bought another home. We've moved on. We've found peace in our family and rebuilding our life.
The world.
It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. We were asleep. I got up to use the restroom, and I ended up fainting. I hit my eye, and I probably was unconscious for about 20 minutes. And so I was knocked out asleep. And then when I was sleeping, all of a sudden I heard Leisha, Leisha, Leisha. So I got up and I went to the bathroom and I found her laying there on the ground. And she had split her eye open really bad, so I woke her up, took her to the emergency room, but it was kind of amazing because I just knew something was wrong with her.
I started telling her this dream, and about midway through it, she started finishing it. I had the exact same dream. The only difference is the same. It was reversed roles.
I got in a really, really major car accident, going 80 miles an hour on the freeway. I had a stopped car, and she knew right away that something was wrong. What's wrong?
I actually felt pain here, and she broke
I broke my
her
sternum, and she felt pain in her chest.
Strange experiences, but could they be put down to coincidence or some other rational explanation? Twin telepathy is about to be put to the test, with Matrix Reloaded stars Adrian and Neil Raymond. Although they're not convinced about telepathy,
I think it's something that you can't test. What are the tests?
What we're going to do is the tie experiment. So what we're going to do is lay out some ties, the same ties for each of you. I'm going to ask you just to simply choose one of the ties, put it on. We're going to be looking to see whether you choose the same tie.
in the simple tie test, the twins are asked to choose a tie at exactly the same time, without seeing what the other brother has selected. In this way, psychologist and paranormal skeptic Professor Richard Wiseman is trying to see if the twins instinctively choose the same styles. The result? One may doubt whether these twins are even related.
Brilliant.
3-0 and counting.
After 6 tries, not one match.
Dude, you and me are linked.
The boys are then asked to choose again, but this time they've got to try and read each other's choice and match what the other is wearing. Intriguingly, there's an instant result.
You turn around and face one another.
We have a winner!
Scientifically, the experiment is as crude as some of the color combinations the twins put together.
That's confirmed it. 1 out of 8. What does that say?
Oh, we're on a roll now.
Something more sophisticated is required to put telepathy to the test. Another, more structured experiment will examine an apparent link between another set of twins. One will be wired up to record vital signs. The other will be blindfolded and subjected to a series of shocks. What will be recorded is interesting, but what does it mean? And is it evidence of real telepathy? When examining the notion of telepathy, can fact be separated from fiction? So far, the most intriguing tales heard are from identical twins, but there's no hard evidence that their experiences are paranormal. Our next test subjects are 9-year-old Richard and Damien Powles. According to their mum, the twins have shown signs of telepathy almost from the moment they were born. In fact, Anna Powles thinks telepathy saved Damien's life.
The first occasion was when they were 3 days old. I was feeding them both on my bed, and I put Damien to the side of me and settled him there while changing Richard. Richard started to cry, and then he started to scream. It looked like he was having a convulsion. His whole body started to shake. Then I did suddenly think, twins relay messages to each other, and as I looked down to make sure, he wasn't there. He'd rolled behind me into the other pillows, practically suffocated. He'd stopped breathing and his face was blue. and had to give him mouth to mouth, resuscitate him. But if it hadn't been for Richard, I believe to this day Damien would be dead.
לפני 3,000 שנה שיסעה משפחה אחת את מצרים.
More than just the same grades at school. Their mum thinks they may share each other's aches and pains.
When they were 3, Damien was complaining about his knee was aching, and it turned out to be Richard had a knee infection. The other major one was that Richard had really bad pains in his back and was crying with the pain, and it was Damien who had a shrunken kidney that they've discovered since.
The twins are going to be monitored for signs of telepathic communication. First, the boys will be separated to avoid physical communication. Then Damien will be subjected to a series of shocks to see if his twin reacts.
Polygraph now.
Richard is connected to a polygraph machine by Guy Heseltine, a certified member of a professional organization. A polygraph detects physiological changes to the body that are invisible to the eye and charts these changes as they happen.
This one's going to go around your stomach. I'm going to connect it.
Separate belts at the top and bottom of the chest record changes in breathing. Results appear on the 2 blue lines at the top of the screen. Electrodes measure conductivity on the surface of the skin, recorded in green on the monitor. An armband measures pulse rate and also records any changes in blood pressure, the red line on the screen.
That's your mum's.
Finally, Richard wears headphones to ensure that he doesn't hear what's taking place in the house during the trial. Downstairs, Damien concentrates on his absent twin by drawing his picture.
He's a bit bored at the moment, isn't he?
Yes.
First, Damien is startled. Is it possible his reaction will be registered by his twin?
Just after the plates were dropped, it appears that there's an increase in the cardio activity, followed very closely by an increase in the skin resistance, which could well be significant.
Upstairs, Richard relaxes as Damien takes a second test.
Right, Damien, I'm going to put your hand in this jar.
Blindfolded, he expects to find sweets in a jar.
Find it for me.
But the jar is filled with ice-cold water, provoking a predictable shock reaction. Richard appears unaffected, but moments later, the polygraph chart reveals a deep breath. Blood pressure and pulse readings also show sudden changes.
During the test, the child here was caused to have quite a significant movement, also in line with a deep breath, which may well be significant to what was going on downstairs.
Finally, Damien is startled by a balloon being burst. At that moment, the polygraph records changes in twin Richard's vital signs.
Over all 3 experiments, there's some kind of reaction that the child has experienced up here on each of the 3 tests. It could be construed that those reactions are as a result of some kind of activity downstairs.
Damien's reactions appear to provoke a subconscious reaction in Richard. But can we draw any conclusions about telepathy from the test? Probably not. For one thing, some question using a polygraph to test for telepathy. The polygraph charts body functions, but these may not tell us what's really going on in the brain. And then there's the question of just how physically separate the twins truly were. They were apart, but perhaps not perfectly isolated. The demonstration took place in an old house. Richard was in an upstairs room behind 2 closed doors, 2 flights of stairs up from his brother. But could he have heard something or have felt vibrations from downstairs? Clearly, these are not laboratory conditions. The results are also open to interpretation. The experimenter can highlight favorable feedback and overlook other results that don't fit. The human mind is proving a formidable and notoriously difficult subject in the search for telepathic evidence. Psychology professor Richard Wiseman will attempt another experiment in his laboratory at Hertfordshire University. His subjects, actors and identical twins Neil and Adrian Raymond, return for another test of the unspoken communication they claim to share. But is it telepathy? Using classic ESP or Zener cards, the twins are asked to select one distinctive symbol each at the same time. Unable to see what the other is doing, they will attempt to communicate their choices to each other and pick the same card. The results? Utterly predictable.
And you can see the majority of them are misses. So we have 8 hits, which are over that side of the table, which is exactly on chance. That's precisely what we'd expect by chance. So
statistically, we did prove something correct.
You proved that the statistics are correct, yeah.
Of 40 possible matches, the twins made only 8. Exactly what one would expect by chance.
The twins have been in the same room, and you think they might be able to pick up subtle signals from one another and so on. And if you get an impressive result, then you tighten up on the controls. We haven't had those impressive results. There's no reason to then run ever more rigorous experiments. So we haven't seen exactly compelling evidence of telepathy between our twins.
Chance? Coincidence? Or are there really people who can see through walls, across rooms and even continents with their minds? ESP agents who can telepathically spy on their enemies. In San Francisco, one man claims to have telepathic powers over great distances and with people he's never even met. He's even served as a spy, using only his mind. All he requires for mind-to-mind contact is the sender's photograph.
It's like a panel.
To put this extraordinary claim to the test, a complete stranger, TV researcher Rachel Curran, will be placed in a random location on her first ever visit to the Bay Area of San Francisco. Without meeting her, ex-telepathy spy Joe McMoneagle will try to make contact with her mind from an office many kilometers away. Then, in a process known as remote viewing, he'll try to see what she sees. Curran chooses 6 possible locations and photographs them. There's a marina, a quarry, Dumbarton Bridge, the municipal airport, a university football stadium, and a giant redwood tree. The photos of each location are put into 6 sets of envelopes and handed to a lawyer for safekeeping. He'll select one set of photos at random with a throw of a die. This random selection ensures that neither person in the experiment can influence choice.
See what envelope to pick. Well, this is the one we chose. Welcome.
Until she opens the envelope, researcher Rachel Curran has no idea which location has been chosen. This ensures that she can't give anything away. As Rachel Curran arrives at the location, Joe McMoneagle will try to describe what Rachel is seeing by telepathy. He works from the city offices of a former colleague and one-time director of America's psychic spy program. Neither man has any idea who our researcher is or where she's going.
By 10:30 this morning, our target person named Rachel is at the site. And my question is, do you know her or have you ever met her in the past?
No, I haven't.
Joe McMoneagle will now try to connect telepathically with Rachel Curran, a stranger he's never met. She will try to act as a beacon, allowing him to see through her mind.
She is somewhere in the Bay Area of California, and what I'd like you to do now is just describe the surroundings in which she finds herself now.
Okay. Kind of a half arch. There's something dark about it. Like there's something kind of darkness.